Welcome to Modi Briefing. The content of the briefing includes Canada set to pull dozens of diplomats from India in Sikh murder dispute. US monitoring India's next steps after court declines to legalize same-sex marriage. As Israel bombards Gaza, where is India, the voice of the global south? Will Trudeau's attempts to needle Modi over Sikh separatist killing succeed? India and Japan will be Asia's next power couple. Canada set to pull dozens of diplomats from India in Sikh murder dispute. Financial Times. Canada has withdrawn 41 out of 62 diplomats from India after failing to resolve a dispute related to Ottawa's claims that New Delhi may have been involved in the murder of a Canadian citizen. Negotiations between the two countries have been ongoing for weeks, but talks failed to reach an agreement to allow the Canadian diplomats to remain in India. New Delhi had set an October 10 deadline for their withdrawal and threatened to revoke their diplomatic immunity from October 20. Canada's Foreign Minister Melanie Joly said that the unilateral revocation of diplomatic privilege and immunities is a violation of international law. US monitoring India's next steps after court declines to legalize same-sex marriage. Reuters. The United States has encouraged India to provide equal legal protection to same-sex couples, following the Indian Supreme Court's recent decision not to legalize same-sex marriage. The U.S. State Department stated that it was closely monitoring the response of the Indian government and civil society to the ruling. The court's decision, which left the issue to be decided by Parliament, was a disappointment to the LGBTQ community in India. The U.S. State Department has previously expressed concerns about human rights issues in India, including the treatment of religious minorities and journalists. As Israel bombards Gaza, where is India, the voice of the global south? Diplomat. The ongoing crisis in Palestine has left India's global leadership aspirations in question. While India has positioned itself as a champion of the global south, it has remained largely silent on the conflict between Israel and Hamas. India's initial response was a post on social media by Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressing support for Israel. There has been no official statement on the situation in Gaza from Modi or the External Affairs Minister. This silence undermines India's desire for a permanent seat on the UN Security Council and its aspirations to lead the global south. It also risks damaging India's standing in the Muslim world as it seeks to enhance engagement with Arab and ASEAN nations. India's passivity stands in contrast to other nations taking a more proactive stance on the issue. By firmly condemning both terrorism and military excesses, India could protect its interests in the Muslim world and establish a stronger voice on the global stage. Will Trudeau's attempts to needle Modi over Sikh separatist killing succeed? South China Morning Post. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has been attempting to rally international support in his dispute with India over the killing of Sikh separatist leader Hardeep Singh Nijjar. However, Trudeau's lack of evidence, and the fact that Canada's allies do not want to disrupt ties with India, have meant that he has struggled to secure public condemnation of India. The case relies on intelligence that has not been made public, and Trudeau's attempts to undermine Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi appear to have backfired. India and Japan will be Asia's next power couple. Reuters breaking views. India's National Investment and Infrastructure Fund, NIIF, has partnered with the Japan Bank for International Cooperation to establish a $600 million fund to invest in renewable energy and other projects. This move follows a commitment by the Japanese government to invest $42 billion into India over the next 5 years. India requires $350 billion in power generation investment over the next decade to meet growing demand, and the fund with NIIF will provide Japanese lenders with opportunities for overseas returns. Furthermore, Japanese companies are looking to expand their presence in India, with many seeking reliable Indian partners. Additionally, India and Japan, the world's second and third largest steel producers, are exploring partnerships to secure the coking coal they need for steel production. India uses widespread internet blackouts to mask domestic turmoil. Washington Post. India has been the country that most frequently uses internet shutdowns to control its population, according to a report by digital rights groups. The study found that between 2016 and May 2021, India accounted for over half of all the internet shutdowns recorded worldwide. On over 680 occasions during this period, state and local officials in India ordered telecommunication companies to suspend mobile data transmission and freeze wired broadband connections. The government argues that shutdowns are necessary to prevent the spread of rumors and contain unrest. Hello, viewers of the 6 Degree Briefing. I am the 6th Doctor, your resident observer from the 6 Degree world. Today, we have an interesting mix of news from India and its international relations. Let's dive in. First up, we have Canada pulling dozens of diplomats from India in a dispute over the murder of a Canadian citizen. It seems like negotiations between the two countries have hit a roadblock, and Canada has decided to withdraw its diplomats. I must say, this situation reminds me of a classic breakup where both parties refuse to budge. Maybe they need a relationship counselor? Next, we turn our attention to the United States, which is closely monitoring India's response to the Indian Supreme Court's decision not to legalize same-sex marriage. The US is urging India to provide equal legal protection to same-sex couples. It's like the US is playing matchmaker, trying to bring love and equality together. Will India take the hint? Moving on, we have an intriguing article highlighting India's silence on the conflict between Israel and Hamas. India, which aspires to be a global leader, has remained largely silent on the issue, raising questions about its global standing. It's like India is sitting in the corner at a party while everyone else is dancing. Come on, India, let's see some moves. In another news piece, we explore Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's attempts to rally international support in his dispute with India over the killing of a Sikh separatist leader. But it seems Trudeau's attempts have fallen flat, as he lacks evidence and support from Canada's allies. It's like he brought a water gun to a heavyweight boxing match. Better luck next time, Trudeau. Shifting gears, we have an exciting development in India's partnership with Japan. The two countries are set to be Asia's next power couple, with a $600 million fund established to invest in renewable energy and other projects. It's like they're building a green and prosperous future together. Move over, Brangelina, here comes Indian. Lastly, we have a concerning report on India's frequent use of internet shutdowns to control its population. Apparently, India leads the world in internet shutdowns, accounting for over half of all recorded cases. It's like India is the overprotective parent blocking access to the internet. Time to loosen the reins, India. In conclusion, India's international relations are a mixed bag of disputes, aspirations, and partnerships. While Canada and India are in a diplomatic tiff, India's silence on the Israel-Gaza conflict raises questions about its global aspirations. On the bright side, India and Japan are forging a strong partnership, and the US is urging India to embrace equality. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts on these news pieces. What are your ideas? Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the Sikh team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of Sikh Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the Sikh team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize Sikh Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, sikhsdobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive Sikh Brief via email.